Have you ever wondered how a program makes decision? How does it choose between one action and another? In C programming, this is made possible through the selection control structure, also known as decision making. In this tutorial, you will learn how programs think, evaluate conditions, and execute different paths based on logic. This is applied intelligence, where intelligence is applied, not just learned. Here are some of the example programs on selection control structure. Let us start with the if-else statement. So, selection control structure. Number one, let's have this problem. So, for example, you're asked to write a C program to determine whether a number is an odd number or an even number. So again, we're going to determine whether the input number is even or odd. So how do we determine that? So let's find out. So let us create a flowchart to visualize the logical solution for this problem. So again, we start with this oval. Start. Then followed by the input. So let's make use of the variable num for the number for our input. Then we do the testing, whether the number is an even number. So how do we test that? So we do that by doing this test num. We'll take the remainder of that modulus of 2. We test whether that is equal to 0. If it is true, therefore the number that we inputted is an even number. So we can just put there the number is an even number. Or we can just simply put there display even. Otherwise, so meaning that is not equal to 0, you will output here the number is an odd number, or you can just simply put odd. And then that ends the flowchart. So that arrow, and then proceed below, and then you put there end. Let us have another example for the selection control structure. A while ago, I presented if-else statement. This time, let us use the nested if-else statement. Let's say you're asked to write a C program to display the letter grade equivalent based on a score. So again, so we are going to display the letter grade equivalent, and then the score will be our input. Then we have the following ranges for the score or scores. We have 90 to 100. We're going to output the letter grade A. Then we have 80 to 89, B, 70 to 79, C, and then below 70, let us output F. Now, again, to visualize the logical solution for this problem, let us create the flowchart. So, we start with this. Then, let's input. Our input is the score. Then, followed by the testing or the condition asking whether the score, let's have the first range, score is greater than or equal to 90. Or we can also test score is equal to 100. So if the score is within this range, let us put the true here. If it is true, let's display or output the letter A. If it is false, then we do the testing again. Let's say score is greater than or equal to 80, or score is equal to 89. Then we enclose this by parentheses. Again, if it is true, then we'll output B. Another testing. If it is false, what will happen? So another testing. Asking whether the score is greater than or equal to 70. Or the score is equal to 79. So if it is true, then let's output the letter grade equivalent of C. Now if it is false here, false, false, and then what will be the last? You can just simply say here, output the F. Then let's close this. You put the arrow like this one. Then we can just put, okay, an line here. And then end. So I am encouraging you to do also the same thing when you do the flowchart. Let's create the program for this flowchart. Again, we start with this directive, the preprocessor directive. Then followed by the entry point to C programming. And that's how begin. Then the variable, we declare that as integer. Then let's proceed to the input. So prior to that, let's have an output statement for the user to be guided on what to do. Input the score. Then you have there the scanf with the format, the syntax, %d, the format a specifier for integer, address for your score, variable score. Then again, the semicolon to end the statement. And then, since we're done with the input, let us now proceed with the testing. If the condition, let us write that, score greater than or equal to 90, or your score is equal to 100. So within this range, that will give you an output, print f of A. Again, if you only have one statement, no need for you to enclose that with a begin and end. So proceed. Else, another condition, if score is greater than or equal to 80, or the score is equal to 89. Then, if it is within the range, therefore that will be B. Another one, else. If condition is it greater than or equal to 70? Or is it the score is equal to 79? If that's the case, print F, the letter grade C. Now, if it is not from this range, or it is now below the 70, we can just simply write here else, no need for the condition. You can just proceed to print F. And then that will be the end of your program. Return 0 and then end. So let us say, for example, your score is 95. That is equal to 95. So it's 95 greater than or equal to 90. So that is greater than, so true. Now is it equal, false? But you say true or false. That will give you an output, a value of true. So true. So then definitely that will output the letter grade A. Now another example, let's say 85. Now we do the testing. Is 85 greater than 90? False. Is it equal to 100? False. False or false? Still false. 85, is it greater than or equal to 80? So it is greater than, so meaning that is true. Okay, and then or it is equal to 89, false. But you know, true or false, that will give you an output of true. So still, that is true, it will output B. Now, for example, you have 75. So 75, is it greater, false? Is it equal, false? False, false, false. Now, 75, is it greater than or equal to 80? That's still false. Is it equal to 89? False, 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 false. Then, with this condition, 75, is it greater than 70? The answer is true. And then, this is or, the score is it equal to 79? That is false. True or false, that will give you an output of true. So, that will print C. If it is, for example, below 70, let's say 65. The score is 65 greater than 90. False, 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 false. So that will output F. Now we are down to our third example for the selection control structure. This time, let's have switch case statement. The switch case statement is very useful for menu-driven program. Let's say you are asked to write a C program to display or output day of the week based on number. So we have options from 1 to 7. So if the user, for example, opted or inputted 1, that will display Monday, 2 Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 for Wednesday, etc. Now let us create a flow chart for this problem. Next is the input. So again, our input is day. Then we'll test the day, whether the day is equal to 1. If it is equal to 1, if it is true, let's output the word Monday. If it is false, meaning not equal to 1, then we test back if the day is equal to 2. If it is true, we'll output Tuesday. False, we test again. If day is equal to 3. If it is equal to 3, we'll output the word Wednesday. If it is false, another testing. Is day is equal to 4? If it is true, then output Thursday. If it is false, then you test, is it equal to 5? If it is true, let's output Friday. If it is false, another testing. Day is equal to 6. If it is true, let's output Saturday. If it is false, again, testing again, is the day is equal to 7. If that is equal to 7, then therefore you output here Sunday. If it is false, so meaning we can just output anything, we can just simply say the input number is invalid. So if it is not 1 to 7, so for example, the user inputted 8, so not in the options, so therefore that will output the word invalid. So we can just simply connect all this. and then connect it to the end. So let us create the program for this flowchart. Then begin. So what is our variable? We have day, and then we'll have that as integer. Then semicolon. Then let's have now the input statement. Then again, prior to that, let's have the output statement. So let's say input a day. Scanf. So since it's an integer, so we can just have %d, then ampersand. Our variable is day. Now we can proceed now with the switch case statement. So syntax, switch, then you put here the variable day. Then you can just simply say begin, or you can just put the begin here. Then you can start case 1. Case 1. So if the user opted for 1, so that will give you a printf of, you can just enclose this with the begin, or you can just simply put here printf Monday, semicolon, and then you put break. Case 2. Same with the rest of the days. Then break. Case 3. If it is 4, then Thursday. Then you put there break. Case 5. Printf Friday. Then break. Case 6. Printf Saturday. Break. Then you have the case 7. Printf Sunday. Then break. Then finally, the last one you put here default. So this reserve word default, that will be the last that you will write when you're dealing with the switch case statement. So default, so what is being outputted there, we say invalid. So the number that you inputted is invalid, or you can say that, no? And then that will now be the end of your case. Then you can just simply say, so you can have return 0 and then end. Selection control structures help programs decide what action to perform based on conditions. By mastering if-else, nested if-else, and switch case statements, you are building the foundation of logical and intelligent programming. If you found this helpful, do not forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more tutorials. Again, this is applied intelligence, where intelligence is applied, not just learned.